Hello, so this video is a discussion slash tips video all about being a comic book newbie. So I love comic books, but I do still see myself as a comic book newbie. But a little bit about me and comic books. I got into comic books a few years ago when I first got with my boyfriend, and we were watching a film, I think it was Iron Man, and I surprised myself because I really enjoyed it, and he said to me, you know, these are based on comic books, right? You could just read the comic book. And we were working out what I would like and coming up with Wonder Woman. So then I bought Wonder Woman the New 52, Volume 1, and I loved it and I haven't looked back since. So this video is for all of you comic book newbies out there who need a little bit of tips, but also a discussion as well, because we can have a discussion in the comments section and talk about comics and being a newbie, because it is so overwhelming and people know so much information. It's like, oh. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So I have some tips to share with you. If I look down, it's just because I've wrote them down. So the first tip that I have is to go with your gut. We all know, you know, the general superheroes, Superman, Batman, etc, etc. And if there is something that you think that you like or you might like, just go with it. You know, don't hold back. You just have to throw yourself into this situation. And then when you do get into comics, you might think, oh, I really like this character, or I've fallen in love with this writer or this artist, and you can follow them that way. But you do just have to kind of take a leap and go with what your gut's saying. So for me, I like women's history. That's why I started with Wonder Woman, because it's a female and I've got the Greek mythology there. That makes sense. But yeah, just go with your gut and just give it a try. The other part of this, I think, is diversity. Now, in the reading world, we do think that we need to read diversely. I mean, I don't read very diversely generally, but you know, this whole DC, Marvel, independent thing, read whatever you want. That's what I say. I say read whatever you want, because let's be honest, as long as you're reading, does it really matter? I mean, if you prefer characters of one, you know, if you prefer DC, I read a lot more DC, I read a lot more female. I don't read much Marvel, and independent wise, I read a few but not many. Am I bothered? Not really. I'm reading, so it doesn't matter. So don't put pressure on yourself to think, oh, I need to read really diversely. I need to read from all these different artists, all these different writers. I need to read about all these different characters, or from Marvel and DC, and be equal. And no. Just read. Just go with what you feel like and just read. Another thing that I want to discuss slash give you a tip on is to be a savvy shopper. So I made a bit of a boo-boo, which hopefully will stop other people from making the same mistake. So I buy volumes when it comes to comics. There's 3 different ways that you can buy comics. You can buy them like e-reader format, so online, electronic, whatever. You can buy the single issues, which are great if you're an impatient person, you just want to know what happens in the story next. But to really look after them, you do have to put them in a little bag and put a cardboard backing to them to make sure they stay nice and pristine condition. Or you can buy the volumes, which means that you do have to wait a little while, because they are about 5, 6, 7 or so issues in one go. But I prefer them because they look nice on my shelf. They're a little bit cheaper and there's no adverts in them. Don't like adverts. But I buy the volumes, but it's complete personal preference to what you have. And I read the New 52, Catwoman, Volume 1. Really enjoyed it. So I got Volume 2. Also really enjoyed it. And then I thought, ooh, I know what I'll do. I'll buy Volume 3 and Volume 4 together. What a mistake. I hated Volume 3, the writer changed and it was just awful. Yeah, and because I had Volume 4, I was just like, oh no, and that was just equally as bad. It was terrible. I was like, what have I done? Such a mistake. It was awful, it's terrible, and I've just wasted £15. So please be a savvy shopper. Please don't waste your money and buy loads in advance, because although you think, oh yeah, I'm really loving this series right now, you might change your mind, and yeah, I've wasted 15 quid, but never mind, I've learned from my experience. The other part of this is wish lists. Now, I used to just put all my comic books into one wish list and just buy off there, but now I have 2. So I have one wish list, which is a graphic novel wish list, which I put in new comic books, graphic novels, picture books, which are new to me. So for instance, I have a lot of the Rebirth series in there because I haven't read any yet. I put in, I don't know, what else have I got in there? Random graphic novels and random picture books that I haven't read yet. And then I have another wish list, which is my continuation comic series wish list. That is hard to say. And in there I have comic books which I've read the previous volume of, really enjoyed and thought I want to carry on this series, so then I put the book on that wish list, if that makes sense. And that way I keep everything separate and I don't get muddled up, and then I don't lose comics and think, oh, why didn't I carry on with that series? Why didn't I carry on with that one? Easy to do. So that's a tip that I would give you if you just like to be very organised. And the other tip that I can give you in regards to being a savvy shopper is to use your local library. Now, my library is very small, so that's where you don't see comic books, library haul type videos on my channel, because it's tiny. But if you do have a bigger library, use it. The books are free, you can go check out loads, and you can think, oh, actually, I want to check out this writer, I want to check out this comic, I want to check out this character, I'm really interested in Batman, maybe I'll try one of his, oh, maybe Wonder Woman, etc, etc. Try it out, use it. The other tip that I can give you is to go and do your research. When you're a comic book newbie, everything is so overwhelming, but if you do your research, you'll be fine. So use YouTube, for instance. Go and watch some shelf tours. Go and watch reviews, recommendation videos. Go and watch maybe some animated series and think, oh, she seems cool or he seems cool, and you can go that way. Use things like Amazon reviews and Goodreads, and don't just look at the positive things, look at the negative things too. I mean, I did a review of Giant Days. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it up there. But Giant Days, I went onto Goodreads and looked at the negative reviews, and someone had said that it wasn't, you know, there wasn't that big plot and it was a bit silly. But to be honest, I love those things. Mr. Bean is brilliant. I love how silly it is and stuff like that. So that's my type of humour. So that's why I completely love and adore Giant Days. So go and do your research, go and check out reviews, look at positive ones as well as negative, and you might surprise yourself with what you like. And the other thing that I can say is if you fall in love with the character but they don't have a reoccurring series, so for me, I love Poison Ivy, but she doesn't have like a rebirth series or whatever at the moment. But you can find comic book characters in other comic books. So for instance, Poison Ivy, I check out Harley Quinn or Gotham City Sirens, she's in there as well as other things. Wonder Woman, who I love and adore, she's in Trinity, she's in Superman, Wonder Woman, of course she's got her own series as well. So check out other comics for the same comic character, if that makes sense. And finally, I think the best tip that I can give you is to just go with it. I think the thing about comics is people are like, oh, I don't know where to start, but if you don't start, you will never know. You have to take a plunge and just go with one. You don't even have to spend money. Go to your library and think, this cover looks cool, or this superhero looks cool, or oh, I've heard good things about this writer or this artist, and just pick it up and just try it. You're not going to spend any money. Or if you think, no, I want to own a comic book myself, go onto Amazon or Book Depository or Wordery, have a good old look, or go and watch some YouTube videos, do a bit of research and think, this is the one for me. Comic books are difficult, they're expensive. If you're worried about spending a lot of money on a volume, try and get your hands on a single issue, but you've just got to go with it because they are so worth it. So I hope this video has helped some of you other comic book newbies, some of you that want to get into comic books but haven't taken the plunge yet. I hope this has helped. In the comment section, if you're a newbie and you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help, but also if other people do have any tips for comic book newbies, also put those in the comment section as well, and we can all help each other out. So that's it for this video. I hope it helped you. Take care, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Bye!